Hi, welcome to Lovin Sheila, the podcast. We're at episode 15. It's been a long week. We just went through Independence Day, America's independence, and we just came off of our Pursuit of Happiness episode. And, in keeping with the Independence Day theme, it makes me think of our personal freedom and independence, because we have that, and us designing the life that we want with the parameters we want. Freedom to do what we want, provided it doesn't infringe on anyone else's rights. Also, we're free from people's expectations, manipulation, or guilt. And it's which leads us into our topic for today of transformation and transition. And as I look at this topic, I kind of think back to a previous episode, Who Are You? And I said there's a 2 coming, and there's definitely a 2 coming, because I'm still exploring who am I, and I want to be very clear on that. And so as I go through the exploration, I haven't figured it out yet. So I'm not ready for Who Are You Part 2. But all of this is the exploration. And so it kind of takes me back to the quote by Audre Lorde, which, if you don't define yourself for yourself, then you'll be crushed into other people's ideas of you. Again, I didn't quote that exactly, and my producers will put it up here for you to see. But what I'm saying is, during this transformation and this transition, we still have to identify ourselves for ourselves. And it's a question of how do we do that? Most importantly, transformation, or transition and transformation, is internal. And I want to focus on the internal things that we do to pursue happiness and the life that we desire. Conversely, confirmation is external, and I want to deal with that because I feel like before we get to the transformation and transition, we are dealing with a lot of conforming, and conforming is conforming to things that are external pressures, conforming to what people want us to be, like what I mentioned earlier in that quote. So we need to identify what that is, so that we know that our transformation is not a confirmation, but truly a transformation that comes from within. So conforming is doing things based on external pressure. Maybe people conform to the ways of the world because it's kind of easy just to be like everybody else, or to do what everybody else does, or to make people happy and to people please. And so sometimes, maybe you're around someone so long and you begin morphing and conforming into the person they want you to be, instead of being steadfast and knowing, well, this is who I am, this is what I want to do, this is what I stand for, and this is a true expression of me. And instead of doing that, we might conform and give a true expression of what others want us to be. And I'm here to say that's not how we love ourselves and have our truest expression of ourselves. So let's talk about not conforming and transforming. Now, conforming is eschewing your character. And a lot of times pressure can make you conform. If you're getting pressure to do a certain thing, to be a certain way, to perform a certain way, you might just conform because it's the easiest way to move forward. But I want to say to you, if you want to get to the next level, confirmation isn't quite the way. I mean, even with diamonds are exposed to heat and pressure. And I'm sure, like me, a lot of us have been exposed to heat and pressure. And when we are exposed to that, what do? Do we just say, okay, I give in, you got whatever you want, that's what I'll be, that's what I'll do? Or do you stand your ground and you endure the heat, endure the pressure, and come out like a diamond, fully crystallized and metamorphosized? Or do you stop, and just relent and give in? And I challenge us all to endure the hardness, endure the pressure, endure the heat. Come out as what you are supposed to be. Come out as the diamond that you are, as opposed to a cubic zirconia, because diamonds have value. They have value because they have gone through the process and they have metamorphosized into the crystallized thing that they are. Whereas, you can get cubic zirconia and it might look nice, and certainly I'm sure a lot of people get it, but it hasn't gone through the pressure and it doesn't have the value. So what I'm saying to you is we have value. We have so much value that we can endure the heat, we can endure the pressure, and we can get to the next level and become who we truly are. We don't have to stunt our growth and stop because we are conforming to different things that have been put at us by this world. So be strong, be courageous, move forward, be brave, because going through the heat is going to take us to where we want to go. And I just want to encourage all of us in that today. So let's go through it. That diamond is full of value because it has endured and now it's going to the next level. Not everyone can endure, but I'm confident I'm talking to folks that can. So let's do it, because as you endure, guess what? You become set apart. You are special. You are not common. You're not run of the mill. So let's set ourselves apart. Let's not conform. It's okay to go against the grain, because sometimes it's worth it. And as W.C. Fields stated, and I'll have my producers put this up here as well, remember, any dead fish can float downstream. Okay, but it takes a live one to swim upstream. In other words, it's not very difficult to go with the flow. It's not very difficult to be passive. It's not difficult at all to be what everyone else wants you to be. That's easy to follow the fashion trends or the political trends or whatever it might be. Yeah, it's, kind of easy to do. But to stand for something and go against the grain. I remember once I was on jury duty 25 years ago. It was a civil case, and it was about discrimination. And if I recall correctly, I was the only black woman, only black person, only woman on the jury. Lasted for about 8 weeks. And so basically the vote came, and it was 11-1, because I said I could see this type of discrimination occurring. And I can, and maybe it's because of where I came from or whatever. But I was like, I'm not going to be swayed by the fact that you all refuse to see this. My vote is no. My vote is yes, he was discriminated against. And unfortunately, in a civil case, it doesn't need a full 12-0 vote. I think it's 9-3. So he did not win the case, but at the same time, I did not give in. Any dead fish can go downstream. I was trying to go upstream because I'm trying to advocate. I'm trying to recognize that discrimination does exist. So just because everyone around us is doing it, just because we are getting pressure to do certain things or to go along with certain things or to feel a certain way or to believe a certain thing, it has to be internal. Because these other things are conforming is all external. It's all due to external pressures that we receive, and we just have to be bold enough and strong enough to say, I'm going to do what I believe in my soul, and I'm going to follow that. And that goes back to what I was talking about in previous episodes, actually episode 5, when I was saying aligning the heart and the soul, because we want to do what's in us, not what we're being told to do. We want to be a true expression of our own character. All right, so let's be a true expression of our own character. So this goes back to actively participating and not being passive. Like I said, it's easy to go with the flow and conform. It is easy on the outside, of course. Okay, so I don't want to discount when I say that it's easy on the outside. It's easy just to be like, okay, everybody's going this way, I'll go this way. However, there may be some internal conflict. And that internal conflict is something that you have to live with. That's what we have to live with. That's what we have to go to bed with at night. And that may be what keeps us up at night, So though it's easy to conform, your confirmation is going to cause a struggle internally. And at the end of the day, you have to live with yourself. Okay? You have to live with yourself, and you have to have peace. And if you don't have peace with the decisions that you're making, with the way you're living your life, how you're living your life, how you're expressing yourself, if you don't have peace, then you are just conforming, and you will not be transformed, and you will not be transformative in how you relate to the world. So that's why it's so important that we are not conformed, but we are transformed. Because if we are truly transformed in our heart and our soul, then we won't have the internal conflict that causes such tension and lack of peace in our souls. So that's why I'm trying to take us from this external drive to this internal drive. And I know that we can get there. Again, we're doing it together. It's a process. Sometimes I may wonder why I have such conflict, because my expression is not the expression of Sheila. My expression might be the expression of, this is what's expected of you, this is what you should do, this is what a lot of people in your situation do, whatever the case. But what I want to do is truly express me. I don't want to be a masquerade. I don't want to wear a mask. I want to express Sheila. And so all that who come to know me or to love me will love me, and not the masquerade, not the facade, not what they want me to be, but me. And if I'm not presenting that, how can I love me, or how can you love me? So that's just something that I think about. I'll go back to the swimming. When you swim upstream, you are going against the current, okay? There's pressure coming at you, and you're fighting, to move forward in it. You're making demands. You are asserting yourself. And the response may be different. It may be different. Folks may not see you. They may see you going with the current, not against the current. So the response may be different, but you're different because you are transforming. And so stay in that. Stay in it. Don't succumb to the resistance, because to be who we are created to be means that we don't just acquiesce to outside forces or other people's demands. We take deliberate steps to be us, in deliberate steps to love and protect ourselves. Just like I mentioned before, protecting your peace. These are deliberate steps. Again, this kind of goes back to I was going to say parameters. Our parameters, but our boundaries. It's very deliberate steps in order to protect ourselves, in order to control our atmosphere, in order to be able to fully express ourselves. So this is what we need to do. So this is how we continue to grow, because complacency, unfortunately, is losing ground. Active participation is our ability to progress. And this is where we enter transformation, our active participation in our progress. And I'm going to say equals transformation. Transformation is a process. It's not something that we wake up today and, I'm just a new woman. Look, I started Lovin Sheila, I guess I started it in March or end of February. And the purpose was to focus on loving me better, to do a better job, to be more complete. And the process continues, or as Nipsey Hussle would say, the marathon continues. I've not arrived. I'm still struggling with different things. I'm still waffling, going back and forth, being on a roller coaster of just staying the course, trusting the process, trusting myself. It's a struggle. So Just know that we have to actively participate in this. Transformation will be a process, and we cannot microwave it. If we could, I would have. It doesn't go on sale. It costs something, okay? But it costs something. But anything that's valuable costs something. And it's going to cost you some time, some effort, some engagement. You're going to have to invest. You know, you might have to spend a little money. You might have to do some therapy. You might have to buy some books. It might cost you something. But the transformation is worth it. So don't try and microwave it. We got to feel it. We got to go through it. It's a process. We have to trust the process. Because on the other side, some great things. It's a wonderful, loving you, loving me, loving others, you know, in a healthy way. So the cost is enduring the process, learning the lesson, dealing with our triumphs, dealing with our pain. These are the costs. It's getting the things that have to be purged from you, out of you, and getting the things that need to be invested in you. That's the process. Some things have to go and some things have to come in. Okay, so we're working those things in. Some characteristics or entanglements won't travel with you through this transformation. There's some things that are going to have to go. And there's going to be some things that hurt in that process. You know, it's inevitable, but that's the transformation. But you have to stay the course, trust the process, provided you know you're involved in a good process. So just keep in mind it is a process, and a process you have to trust. And if you want something better for yourself. Now, if you want to continue where you are and not make progress and not evolve, then give up, you know. But that's not what we are called to do. That's not what we're called to do. So I'm encouraging us to stay in the battle, to stay in the transformation, to stay in the process, or some would say stay on the potter's wheel, so that you can be what we're looking to be, which is whole, which is whole and healed and evolving. That's what I know. That's something that I'm looking for. So we can't keep doing the same thing and expecting different results or expecting to be transformed. You have to incline your ear to your soul and align your life with what is inside of you. Peace doesn't occur if you're not operating from within. I know I said it already, but I'll say it again. If you're not operating from within, you're not going to have internal peace, resolve. Okay, so that's just, I don't know, that's been my experience. I'll put it like that. That's been my experience. And that's why it's important to make the inside connection, because in loving ourselves, how can we do it if we're not recognizing our needs, our desires, and moving to manifest it in our lives? You know, that's what this internal transformation is. It's looking to manifest something new inside of us. And it starts inside and then it comes out. So we are transforming from a life that conforms to external forces to a life that is transformed by internal forces. And we want our expressions to reflect our inner person, because, pause. Again, I'll say we want our expressions to reflect our inner persons, because again, I'll say when it doesn't, we're living a masquerade. And we're actually trying to be authentic expressions of who we are internally. And that's the transformation, okay? And we can do it by being aware and tuning into ourselves. Like I said before, tune in and be empowered. We are accustomed to tuning into our spouses, our children, our jobs, our families, but it's time to tune in to us, to our heart, to our soul, and really manifest outwardly what's inside of us. Okay, so that's what I'm encouraging us all to do, is make the transformation. Ride out the transformation. Stay the course. Trust the process. Okay. This will be the transition. This will also be the transition that we make in our lives as we tune in to ourselves. We're transitioning our focus a little bit. And not to say that we're not going to take care of all the folks, the aforementioned folks, but I think we're going to do it from a better place, because we're doing it from a place of a true expression of who we are and how we feel, and how these folks impact how important they are to our life. But I think if it's a mutual feeling, they will want us to be our truest expression of ourselves, our truest self. They will want us to be the transformed person that we're becoming instead of the conformed person that we're becoming, because it means that we're at a place of peace. And if we're in a place of peace, we're happier, we're better equipped to love ourselves and to love others and to have better, more fulfilling relationships. So we have to take the time to do what we have to do to go through the transformation and begin the transition. And the transition is going to be filled with a lot of unknowns, and there is no roadmap. You just have to have a mental map that lets us know the road will be wrought with challenges, obstacles, and things that we have to overcome. And it's going to require effort and fortitude, because there will be days that you don't know how you got on this road. You don't know what you're doing or where you're headed. So just know that there is a process and there is a plan, and just continue to trust it, because those days will come without a doubt. And then there'll be days when everything just fits, and through it all you have to remain committed to transformation on this transitional road. We just have to trust that this road is going to lead to a better Sheila, or a better April, or a better Linda, whatever it is. Just trust that this road is going to lead to something better. And that's why we are trusting the process, and we're not foregoing the process. It's going to lead to a healed and a fully expressive person that knows who they are, what they want, how they want to spend their life, and it's not being forced on them or fed to them. It's fully expressive of who we are on the inside. And so it's an exploration of who you are and what you want. And as I mentioned before, I still need to work on that exploration of who I am, but I certainly think that this transformation and this transition is helping me take a closer look to exploring that, and I hope that it gives you some guidance as to how to explore your own personal transformation and your transition, for it looks different for all of us. So just want to say, just invest in that transformation, invest in the transition, stay the course. The benefit will be immense. It will be great. You will, apprehend who you are and understand it, and be an external expression of who you are internally. And that's what it's all about. So make the transition, trust the process, recognize your needs and protect yourself. And let's just do all that, and let's just get to where we're trying to go. And that's a better us, okay? More complete, whole, healed us. And that's our purpose, that's our goal, that's our journey. And all of our journeys are different. Mine is different from yours, and I'll go do things that you want, and you likewise will do the same. But at the same time, we're all just trying to get where we're meant to go. So thank you for watching. Thank you for taking this journey with me. Don't forget to go to lonewolfbodywear.com and get your Lovin Me shirt. It's just $10. Get it. Be a part of the tribe. Until next time, thank you for watching, and take care and love yourself. Bye for now.